everyone. Happy Victober, and I am here for part 6 of my series ranking 100 more Victorian books. I hope that you are enjoying it, and now we're getting into more and more positive territory, and I want to keep my numbers straight, so I have each one on a little square of paper. So coming in at number 50 is Ellen Middleton by Georgiana Fullerton. The name of the book to me seems a little bit similar to the author, so I'm always questioning whether I'm naming the author of the book, but it is Ellen Middleton by Georgiana Fullerton. This is a sensation novel that was recommended by Charlotte Mary Yonge. So in her letters, in one of her letters, I saw her giving a rave review about this novel called Georgiana Fullerton. And then last Victober in the Discord discussion, I can't remember which prompt it was for, but someone was saying that they had read Georgiana Fullerton last Victober and have been thinking about it all year. And I thought, that's all I need to know. I want to try this. And I think to date, it is the most dramatic sensation novel I have ever read. It starts off very dramatically when this young woman is sitting at the back of a church during a church service, and the priest notices her because she looks like she's basically at death's door. And after the service is over, he begins to talk to her, and she tells him her life story and kind of how things have come to the desperate place that they are now. And I know I said in a previous video, I don't typically enjoy a story within a story, but this book gripped me so much. I had to know what had this woman been through. And like I said, I still think it's the most dramatic sensation novel I have ever read. I could not read quickly enough. I could not read quickly enough. Yeah, if you want a book that's going to be a page turner, I definitely recommend Ellen Middleton. The only thing is, I kind of wish there had been more time with the characters outside of all of the crazy things that were happening. But that's just a one small complaint. If you really want something to grip you that you won't be able to put down, I definitely recommend Ellen Middleton. The next one is the book The Ring and the Book by Robert Browning. This is one that I came out of appreciating more than having enjoyed. So Robert Browning, when he was in, I think it's in Florence, he picked up an old book at a bookshop that was selling old books, and it was documents relating to this trial where a man brutally murdered his wife and her parents. And it was just the documents from that trial, and Robert Browning was fascinated. And he wrote this narrative poem all about the events leading up to the murder itself, and then the trial. So it is very harrowing. The young wife, it doesn't say on the back how old she is. I think she's maybe 19 or 20. She's very young. And it's just this brutal thing that happens. So you find out all about why he did it and how he justifies it. And so it's heavy stuff. Also, I read this with Roz from Scallydandling About Books. And I'm so glad that I did, because I felt very much out of my depth with the poetry that was in here. And Roz was really helpful at kind of interpreting some of the events. And then I felt very silly when I got to the end. I realized that there were notes. And I did not know that there were notes for the whole time that I read it. So yes, it is very full on. But it has stayed with me, and it's one that I could see eventually reading again, but I came out of it kind of like, wow, okay, that was a lot. And like I said, it's just very harrowing. Okay, number 48 is the Journals of George Eliot. So I will say, there is a lot of mundane within this, and also it just breaks your heart. You really get a more complete picture of the chronic illness that she lived with. And because there are so many days where the entry is just felt unwell again. Day after day after day, that's the entry. But there are some real lovely windows into what exactly her life was like and kind of her hopes and dreams that she had. And there are some times when she was on vacation that she writes about. And you get to see kind of what she was really passionate about. So I think for anyone who is a George Eliot fan, I think this is a worthwhile purchase. Just know it's not, there a good portion of the pages are fairly mundane, but then the details that are in there that are really lovely are just delightful. And I will say, I won't give a spoiler, but for Romola, there is a character that dies, and she says, "Killed so-and-so in great excitement," which that just made me laugh. And I'm very excited that she did kill that character, I have to say. So yes, there is the Journals of George Eliot. Number 47 is Charley's Aunt. This is a play. And I finally got around to reading Charley's Aunt. Last Victober, I did it as an event on my Patreon, and everybody read a different part, and it is a really, really funny part. If you enjoy if you enjoy Oscar Wilde's plays, I think you should definitely check out Charley's Aunt. It's laugh out loud funny, and just kind of a comedy of errors and highly amusing. It feels so contemporary, and it's just delightful. And there are these two friends who, through a certain set of circumstances, they have their friend pose as their aunt, or one of the friends poses as an elderly aunt, through just a very weird set of circumstances. So you can guess kind of the funniness that leads to. Also, I would say if you enjoy P.G. Wodehouse and kind of the just the ridiculousness that some of the Jeeves and Wooster's plots, the ridiculousness that happens in those, I think you should definitely try out Charley's Aunt. Then at number 46 is a historical fiction by Charlotte Mary Yonge, and that is The Dove in the Eagle's Nest. This starts off feeling like Heidi. This had a lot of potential. I was very excited about it. In the beginning, there is a little girl who she doesn't know her father's family, and then she's kind of taken away from everyone that she's known, and she goes to live with her father's family, who, in comparison to where she's been living, they're very rough around the edges and uncivilized, and they live off in the mountains. It's, like I said, it started off so promising, and then it gets about halfway through and everything feels a bit rushed. You definitely see her from her time as maybe 12 or 13 until she's a lot older. But look how short the book is. And how many pages is this? It is 260 pages. So I just feel like this was meant to be longer. I definitely did enjoy it. But I feel like it could have been, I don't know, unpacked a bit more. And that was The Dove and the Eagle's Nest. The next one is number 45, Christmas at Thompson Hall by Anthony Trollope. This is a short story collection, although I would say Christmas at Thompson Hall is maybe more novella length. And by far, it is my favorite out of the collection. I did also really enjoy Christmas Day at Kirkby Cottage. The other stories I felt so-so about, but Christmas at Thompson Hall just is miles above, in my opinion. And it tells the story of this couple that the husband has a very sore throat, and they are traveling home to be with family for Christmas. And they're on their way to meet, there's someone new who's going to be marrying into the family. So they're trying to get home so they can meet this new family member, and they stop at a hotel, which I feel like a lot of Victorian things, that you're going to be hard pressed to find something set at a hotel. So that's fun because it feels really different, but it's just a really highly comical story. And it's filled with warmth, and it feels Christmassy. And it's just lovely. So yeah, Christmas at Thompson Hall was the highlight for me. Then Lady Anna, another Trollope, coming in at number 44. This is a standalone Trollope. that has a kind of rather shocking turn of events in it. And I mean, if you like the typical Trollope plot and you haven't yet read Lady Anna, I think it's definitely worth your time. I just know that I felt really intrigued by the plot, and also I felt really invested in the characters, kind of wanting to know what was going to happen to them. And like I said, very dramatic turn of events. I did not see it coming at all, and I really enjoyed it. Then number 43 is The Young Pretenders by Edith Henrietta Fowler. Oh, I should have shown for my other Persephone the end papers, because that's what is unique about each of these. This is one that the farther I get from it, the more fondly I feel about it. So the writing style in here is quite unique, and I don't even know how to describe it. I just know it was unlike any other writing style. So I spent much of the book kind of getting acquainted with the writing style. I just didn't know kind of how to feel about it. There are two siblings, and their parents are both off in India. This is kind of the Raj era of time. So there are many British soldiers occupied in India, and it is you get a good picture of their imagination and kind of the way that these children view the world, their hopes and their fears, and it ends up being really charming. And the characters in this you become really attached to. And also what I loved about it is there are a number of illustrations. And the children in this do feel very authentically like children. So their imaginations can get the better of them sometimes, and it was just really lovely. So it's one that I very much, instead of how I felt kind of coming out of it, I'm really excited to reread it at some point. And I don't know if it would work as a read aloud. Maybe I would consider doing that. But yeah, this is really, really fun. So if you can get your hands on a copy of The Young Pretenders, I definitely would. Number 42 is Percival Keene by Fredick Marryat. And this is one that I read as a result of trying to have a book to recommend from every year of the Victorian era. And I'm so glad that I read it now, because Fredick Marryat, I wasn't sure if I would enjoy his books. I do enjoy plot-driven novels when I feel that I get to know the characters well enough. And so you are following Percival Keene from kind of when he's an older child, almost a teenager, till he is a grown young man, and you follow him for just the kind of coming of age years. And I found myself completely enthralled by this book. I loved the very different kind of maritime feel of it. That's not my typical sort of Victorian fare, and I found myself really intrigued, wanting to know what was going to happen next. There is also a whole plot line of Percival Keene trying to figure out who his father is. And you as the reader, it's abundantly obvious who the father is. So it's kind of fun to see him, I don't know, stumbling around trying to figure out who his father is. And you're kind of like, really? You didn't know it? But yeah, it's just really fun and engaging plot-driven fiction. So I definitely recommend it. And then the last one for this video, number 41, is Moonfleet by J. Meade Falkner. I had heard Moonfleet recommended. It sounds a bit of Treasure Island flair to it because there are things to do with sailing and sailors, but it really has its own feel. This boy lives in a town that's quite insular, but then also you find out that there is smuggling. So for those of you, I don't know, Poldark fans, it's set in Cornwall, and smuggling kind of is the catalyst that kicks the entire plot off. There's one friendship in here of our main character with an older man that I just really loved. I thought it was done so beautifully, and kind of seeing the way that they cared for each other. And the romance in this feels... she's just kind of the angel of the house. You don't really get to know I I don't know, fully realized version of her. But so that is something that I would have loved if that had been kind of more developed. But all that being said, it's a page turner and really enjoyable. So I definitely recommend Moonfleet. And since it's children's fiction, you can know you don't have to feel intimidated going into it. It feels very approachable. Alrighty, that was part 6. I hope that you are enjoying this series. As we get closer and closer, I really agonized over the top 10. And I'm looking forward to telling you what I kind of ended up settling on. I hope that you are having the best Victober ever, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye!